What's up, you guys?
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do kind of an affordable at-home DIY detail on your own car. All right, so today we're going to be doing a detail on this 2014 Honda CR-V. As you can see, it's not in rough condition, but it's definitely got some signs of aging, as well as just not really being washed and detailed all that often. So some of the black plastics are a little bit rough. So as you can see, there's kind of like some buildup on the hood. I'm hoping that will come out where it's just kind of dull. We're also going to be looking at the headlights, doing a restore on those. So they're very hazy. That can make the light a little bit dimmer, so that'll probably help with nighttime visibility. And as you can see, some of the black plastics on here have just gotten kind of dull and gray. So we're going to be trying to refresh those and get them back to looking kind of how they were right out of the factory. All right, so then let's take a look at the inside here. This car is driven every day, so it's not too dirty, but you've got some dust built up in there. And then some of the plastics could definitely be use some TLC. All right, so I've basically broken up our kit here into two separate parts. This is what we're going to be using on the interior. And a lot of these are just products you could find at Walmart, on Amazon, or even like an AutoZone or something like that. So we've got some glass cleaner. I don't know if we'll use this, but this is a multi-purpose kind of deep cleaner. It's a foaming cleaner. So if you have really bad stains in your seats or something, this can help get those out. We have a interior cleaner, so we're gonna rub down all of the hard plastics and get some of the gunk off of them with this. And then we're gonna go back with the protectant that's gonna kind of seal that and keep it from cracking under sunlight and things like that. I've also got a pack of microfibers here. We're gonna be using a lot of those, so you're gonna want some of those. I've got a Swiffer duster, or any kind of duster you have. I've got a shop vac here, but you can use a home vacuum cleaner. If you don't have a shop vac, it works just the same. And the last little tool here is a detailing brush. I actually got this on Amazon in a kit. And this is good for like your radio knobs, getting into cup holders and places like that, where you can't really reach with a microfiber. It's gonna help to kind of knock some of that dirt loose. And then moving on over to our exterior kit here, we've got a basic wash bucket. So we've got a microfiber handle here. This is for reaching kind of the top of the car, places that are hard to reach. Another microfiber hand sponge, just for getting, most of the car will be using with, this with it. We've got a separate bucket here for our wheels. So I've got a deep wheel brush, kind of a tire brush. I've also got a microfiber in here for getting some of the hard to reach spots. We're gonna be using a all-in-one wash and wax today. Ideally, when you're doing a detail, at least once a year, you are gonna want to fully wax the car. So use clay bar and apply wax. We're not gonna be doing that today, but there will be a separate video on how to do that later on the channel, so be looking out for that. We've also got some tire shine here to dress the tires after. This is our trim and plastic restorer. So this is what's gonna get those dull gray plastics to look kind of shiny and black again. I've got some chamois towels here. These are the Absorber brand. I think I've got these at Walmart. These are really good for drying your car, and they'll last you like literally years, as long as you don't get them too dirty. And last but not least, we have a headlight restoring kit. So this is also something that's gonna be not really regularly part of a detail, but maybe once a year you'll want to do this on an older car just to get those headlight lenses clear again. All right, so we're going to start on the interior of the car. And the reason I want to do that is if you're doing both inside and outside on the same day, you're going to want to do the inside first, because all of this ground out here is going to get wet from the gunk that you're washing off of the car. You don't want to be tracking that back into the car once it's already clean. And also, a lot of water will build up in these areas. And that could kind of drip into the cabin and make things a little bit more messy. So I've just found it's best to do the inside first and work your way out. So we're gonna get started. The first thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna use a duster to collect all that dust that's accumulated on things, because you don't wanna just spread that around with your wipes. And then we're gonna vacuum it out before we get into cleaning some of the plastics and stuff. So let's get into it.
Okay, so first we're gonna clear out all the things, because I have a lot of junk in the car. So we're just gonna clear it out, like all these shaker bottles and just random cups, and yeah, and then we'll start dusting.
All right, so once you've got the vacuuming done, the next step is going to be to use the interior cleaner. So we're going to put that on some microfibers as well as on that brush, and we're going to go in and just really clean all of the dash, all of the touch points of the car, and use the tough stuff, whatever it's called, foam cleaner, to get some of the stains out of the seats and stuff. So we'll get started on doing that next. All right, so this might be something that's kind of more common in older cars, but if you look at this volume knob, you see how it's like, it looks like crusted like gray, but then if you look here, you see the black coming out. So that was actually just crusties on there. So I'm actually using that interior cleaner, and I'm just, well, okay, I took the knob off, so I'm gonna scrub that off of the rubber, and it's gonna come clean and it'll look kind of brand new again. So that's disgusting, but it's gonna be clean now. All right, so I'm using some of this tough stuff on a couple of these stains that were on the seat. So you see it foams up. You can use your brush, but be careful. You don't want to use it too much, because especially on carpet seats like this, because it'll kind of burr it up. So I'm just kind of dabbing it in just to get the cleaner like deeper in there. I'll let that sit for a little while. It's already kind of been sitting, and I'll wipe it. It should, yeah, get rid of stains like that. So just don't brush too hard if you are going to try to brush it stains, especially on carpet interior. All right, so this is how it looks after doing all of the interior cleaning. You see everything looks a lot better. The blacks have kind of showing black again, which is nice. It looks a lot better already than it did. So the next step is going to be using the interior protectant, and we're basically just going to touch everything we just touched with the cleaner with the protectant, just to kind of UV protect it, give it a little bit of moisture. It will give it a little bit of a shine, which some people don't like, and there are some products you can use that keep it matte, but it'll still look good. It'll still look clean and new. So we're going to wipe everything down with that next. Bro, sometimes I find even with like glass cleaner, it streaks hella, and you kind of have to go back after it's dry with another cloth and just kind of like buff it off. I don't know what it is about these kind of glass cleaners. Okay, and that is our interior done. So everything has been coated with the protectant. I think it looks a lot better. It smells better. There's not as much like gunk in here. All right, so that is the interior done. So we're gonna move on to the exterior now. Like I said, we're gonna be doing basically just like a bucket wash, but we are gonna be giving extra attention to it And I guess that's what makes the difference between like a home detail and just a regular car wash is you're going that extra step to really get everything. So we're gonna get all the nooks and crannies, get all like the bird poop off. I'll show you in some B-roll, but there's like some gunk in like this window area on the other side. So making sure to clean all of that out. And then with the hood, it's very matte right now. We're gonna try to fix that. So we're gonna get into the bucket wash. Basically when you go to wash your car, I always start with the wheels because the wheels can get wet over and over again. They're not gonna get water spots on them. Whereas if you did them last, after the car is already either covered in soap or it's wet, it's gonna get water spots on it while it's drying. So always start with the wheels first, use a separate bucket for the wheels so that you don't get brake dust and all the other kind of grime that comes from wheels on the paint of the car. So we'll start with the wheels and then we'll start from the top down, washing the rest of the car. All right, so just a little bit of soap for the wheels. And then you just want to fill that up, kind of foaming it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give the whole car a rinse first. And that'll help kind of loosen up. Halima's gonna give the whole car a rinse first, and that'll help kind of loosen up some of the stubborn things like the bird poop and all. And then once it's wet, I'll start working on the wheels. So we'll do that first. All right, so I'm going to start with my tire brush. This is kind of a rough bristle, big brush. These tires already had some tire shine on them from like a couple weeks ago, but it'll still come off pretty good. And then I'll use this to kind of do my first kind of scrub at the rim too. And then we'll go back in and kind of get more detailed with the other brushes. Okay, and then I'm going to move on. So this is a barrel brush. This one kind of is to get the inside of the wheel, but these are steely, so there isn't really much inside to get. So I'm just going to kind of lightly do that, and then I'll move on to my microfiber. I'm going to let that one soak for a little bit and move on to the next ones. All right, so now that the wheels are done, I'm gonna start on the actual washing. So we'll give it one more quick rinse, and then we're gonna start at the roof. You wanna start from the top and work your way down so that all the stuff that you're kind of rinsing down that's falling down doesn't go over something you already cleaned. So we're gonna do a quick wash on the car, and I'm gonna give some extra attention to the hood and other spots where it looks really dirty. All right, so a lot of people will say use like, like 2 different buckets, one for dirty, one for clean. And that is like a really good rule to follow, but I'm just using one here, and it has this filter that goes in the bottom. So the idea is that all the crud will kind of go underneath this and it won't be a problem. All right, so every now and then you just want to take a pause and give it like a light rinse where the place you've already soaped. Like you don't want to rinse all the soap off, but just keep it wet so that it doesn't start drying and get water spots on there. All right, so that is the car washed. We're now going to use our chamois to dry it. Basically the same way, kind of top to bottom. We're going to dry it off, and then we'll move on to the next final steps. So this is why I like these absorbers. It's kind of like a chamois, so you got to keep it wet. You can't store it dry or it'll like crust up. But it like sucks up all the water with just like a slide over it. And then you'll kind of feel it start to get saturated. And once there's a lot of water in it, you just kind of wring it out. But you can see definitely on the windshield, it like grabs like every bit of water. So you just kind of lay it all the way out, kind of pull it, and it grabs a lot. And then once it starts to leave water trails, you know it's kind of saturated and you can wring it out. All right, so that is the wash complete. What we're gonna do now is like the finishing touches. So I'm gonna give Halima this trim and plastic restore. She's gonna go around and touch all of the dark plastics on the outside that are kind of faded and get those looking new again. And then I'm gonna use our headlight restore kit to shine these up a little bit. And then we will be done. You can see the difference that makes like here, like that looks like new, and then the dinginess. So that's like a really big one, especially for like older cars with a lot of plastic. Just using a trim restore can make it look like crazy new. All right, so while Halima's doing that, I'm gonna be doing our headlight restoring kit. So I bought this one from Turtle Wax. Basically just follow the directions on here, but I'll kind of show you what I'm doing. So it says to use the lens clarifying compound first on a cotton cloth and rub over the entire lens using firm pressure, then buff it clean with a clean terry cloth. And if that's all it takes, if this turns clear after that, then you can just go on and use the sealing wipe. But if it doesn't, you're gonna be using the sanding pads that came with it. So I'm gonna do that first step and see what it looks like on here. Clarifying compound. Definitely try not to get this on the paint of your car, because it's basically like finely sanding it, and you don't want to do that. All right, so I can already kind of tell this isn't gonna do enough. So we probably will have to use the sanding pads. So I'll let that one dry and I'm gonna go into the other one. All right, so we're gonna buff this off and see what it looks like. It's definitely not enough. So, yeah, we will be moving on to step 2, which is gonna be using those sanding wipes. All right, so we're gonna be doing the sanding part. So basically, you've got these sanding discs. There's 4 sides. You go from 1 all the way to 4, using this spray lubricant to keep it wet as you do it. So I'm just gonna go through sanding this one down all the way from 1 through 4. It's pad number 1. Spray it down, get anything off of it. Lube up the light.
Should I do this too or not?
Yeah. And again, kind of take care not to touch the paint with this. So on these kind of corners, I'm just gonna be a little more careful. All right, that's looking pretty good for 1. Feels pretty smooth, so now I'm gonna switch over to side 2. Again, just keep this kind of lubed up. Moving on to side 3. Okay, on to the side forward, last one. All right, so that's all 4 of those. So I'm gonna lube it and we're gonna wipe it off. So it's gonna be a little hazy looking still, but now when we use that clarifying compound, it should help. If not, don't buy this kit, but we'll see. Let's see. Okay, buffing this in again. Let's put some more of this stuff on here maybe. All right, I'm gonna let that sit and we'll wipe it and see if that did anything. Yeah, I'll just wipe it down right at the end. All right, that is slightly better, I guess. So this is as good as we're gonna get on this one. Definitely better. Okay, it's actually way better. Let me show you the comparison to the other side. So that's the one we just restored. And that's the other one. It's pretty yellow. So I'll do a quick sand on this one too, just to get it to match the other one, and then we'll put the sealer on. All right, so that is the detailing done. Definitely looks a lot better than it did. The headlights, they're actually not that bad now that I'm looking at it. It looks pretty good. Way better than it was. The hood did not come shiny like I was hoping, but I think that's just the clear coat failing. And then you guys saw the interior look really good. So I'm happy with this. If you end up doing this at home, you can find all those things that I used on like Amazon, probably the best place to find them. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more car content. I'll see you guys in the next video.